upset, you know? Like, you can't. And so I'm trying my best to eat the food, and I'm crying, and then dumb bitch, pardon my language, guys, this is not family friendly at all, but like, she's all like, oh, well, I guess he gave you a good talking to finally. Thank God I'm not a violent person, because, oh lordy, how I wanted to punch her. And I'm like, no, he didn't. Everything's fine. It's great. As I'm sitting here crying, I'm like, it's fine. Everything's fine. It's great. No, he didn't say anything. He didn't say anything bad at all. As I'm crying, open fuck crying. And so she kind of realized real quick, I think, that I didn't really want to talk. So as I'm sitting there, like, head kind of like down, like crying, she's like, okay, well, I'll see you tomorrow. Have yourself a great day. Yeah, you too. Have a great evening. See you tomorrow. Yeah, okay, great, bye. So she leaves. And it's still lunchtime. And the schools always have a groundkeeper, right? And they're usually like, they're always men. And they're always retirees. Like, they're usually up in their 70s or so. And it's like they're retired, and they come and they do, like, they rake up the leaves, and they fix things around the school, and they just do, like, little odd jobs. Me and my Japanese old people, I don't know. But I usually befriend them if I can. They're nice, you know? They're nice people. But he was the only one who came over in the staff room and was like, are you okay? And I just looked up at him, and I shook my head and started crying harder. It was awful. And like, I was sitting there and I'm just crying, and I'm like, you know, like, what can I do? And so he kind of left me to just kind of cry it out. And at some point, I hear the vice principal. I don't know, like, I was in my own little, like, thing. But I can just hear the vice principal kind of ask someone very quietly, like, does anyone know what's wrong? And I guess the English Tonto, the racist ass, he takes it on his self, you know, to be like, oh, well, her supervisor came today, and that should be all the explanation you need. It's like, the supervisor didn't even say anything mean to me, and it's not his fault I'm crying. It's your guys' fault for being fucking oblivious to all the things that I'm trying to do to make you fucking happy. And I was just like, what is going on? Look at this empath here, by the way, guys. He knows. He senses I'm having a moment, and he's like, I'm here. Look at this. Isn't he precious? I love you. I'm gonna hug you. But anyway, so I like pulled myself together enough. I finished choking down the food, right? And they'd already taken the cart away for like the plates and things. And so I didn't have to, but I took the dishes, and they always have like a little kitchenette with like a sink and like some burners and stuff to make tea for guests in the staff room. And so I took the plates over, and I sat, and even though I didn't need to, I sat and washed them all because they have the sink, and I was like, okay, whatever. But there's something very nice, I don't know, for me, like when I'm upset, washing dishes is kind of, I don't know, centering? Is that what you want to call it? Like, it just helps me, you know? Like, if I'm having a rough time, I'm washing dishes. Like, if you ever find me washing dishes, you know I'm not in a good place. So I washed the bowls, and I managed to get myself to a point where I'm not crying anymore. So I venture out of the staff room, pretty sure I look like freaking hell because I've been crying, and it's like, great, guys. But I take the bowls back to the lunchroom, and I'm like, Here you go. And then I have to go outside to play with the kids, as I do every day, but apparently nobody fucking notices. And so I go outside, and the kids are like, "Whoa, yay!" You know, and they're so happy. And I'm doing my best to, like, be attentive and pay attention to them. Then it's cleaning time, and I'm cleaning with the students, and then I still have to go teach the 5th frickin' period of the day. So I have to go to a class. All the while with, like, the knowledge that my supervisor's coming back after that class to sit and talk with me. And it's just like, oh my god. And he gets there and he's like, "I hope you had a wonderful lunch." And I'm like, no, I didn't. I didn't. In fact, I sat at my desk and cried the entire lunch period. Whoa, why? Are you so oblivious? Like, this man, oh my god. Bad listener, bad at understanding things. And I'm just like, what is even going on? And so, you know, unfortunately for me, I'm like so upset that even when my supervisor's there, I can't like freaking stop crying. It's like everything that I'd kind of like pushed down a bit when I was washing the dishes, just like back up. And it was like, great. Let me just tell you all the tea. Let me spill it all. And you know, the fun thing is, when he came to the school, the reason he was late for the class is because he couldn't find the gate to get into the school. Because the gates that are most obvious are locked. There's only one gate that's open. And so he had to phone the school, and get this, guys. The jackass English person who's always rude to me, not the lady, the dude, he's rude to my freaking supervisor when my supervisor phones and is like, "I can't figure out how to get in your school." Well, the English Tonto had to go let him in and show him how to get in, and was all like pissy with him, like, "How dare you inconvenience me and make me have to do work." And my supervisor kind of commented, he was like, "Who is that guy?" And I looked at him like, "That is the guy in charge of me. That's the English Tonto. That's the guy in charge of your ALT." He's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I don't ever teach with him." And he's like, "You don't teach with him?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Well, what did he teach?" And so I told him, I'm like, "He's the guy who's here to teach all the little foreign kiddies Japanese. That's his job. This horribly racist fuck. His job is to teach all the foreigners Japanese." And so I said, like, no, that's pretty standard for him. Like, don't feel special or anything. Like, he's kind of rude to absolutely everyone that way. So, like, you know, anyway, just talking to the supervisor and try to, like, express to him, like, look, I listen to their comments and I take the feedback to heart and I implement changes. Now, you guys as a company, they won't tell us where the comments come from, you know? So I kind of just blanket apply the changes to all schools because I don't know which school wants what. Don't go. But, so I, like, sat and talked to my supervisor. He came at like 2:30 and we stopped talking at 4:10. So like an hour and a half or more, sat and talked with him about, you know, like, look, everything they've said that they want, that has been expressed to me, I have put in. On the second day, my second day at that school, the Ego Tonto very rudely was like, "Shouldn't you be outside playing with the kids?" And from that day forward, every recess, every lunch break, I'm outside on the breaks with the students. I don't play dodgeball, but I feel like I don't need to be playing dodgeball. Like, it's much better that I'm there to communicate with them and not be running around playing tag or dodgeball. Plus, you don't want me doing physical exercise when I can't have a shower, because it's going to become real ripe real fast and just be really stinky. And it's like, I don't know, but it's like every break, I'm out and about with the kids. When I don't have a class, I'm like sitting and working on their stupid freaking English board. And if I notice that there's kids and the class has gone to a gym, I go to the gym and I'll sit and watch their PE class, you know? And then when the kids are going home at the end of the day, I'm sitting there at the doors where the kids are leaving from and saying goodbye to them all. And yet I don't go outside and play with the kids. And like, one of the stupidest things ever, my supervisor's like, you should start telling them that you're going to be going and doing these things. I have to broadcast to them now, saying like, hear ye, I'm going outside to play with the kids. Please take note. Who the fuck does that? It's like, that's so obnoxious. Like, why would you want someone to do that? Like, if someone was doing that, I would be like, can you shut up? Just do it. You don't have to tell me. Just do it. But, like, it's just so frustrating. And, like, I even told the supervisor when he was there, I was like, look, I've been doing this job a while now. My first day ever as an ALT, I cried. Because I wasn't prepared for what the school was expecting. I felt really, like, isolated, and it was really hard. And so, my first day ever doing this job, guys, I found an empty stairwell, and I sat and cried at my school. That was 15 years ago. And I was good. Never had a repeat crying at the school moment until today. Like, I don't know why some people become teachers. Like, it doesn't make sense to me either, Gray. It really doesn't. And I don't get why they're so rude. But anyway, after I finished talking to my supervisor, he started talking to the vice principals at the school. He plans to escalate it with the company and get the actual Japanese staff at the company to come and communicate with the school because he doesn't have the confidence in his own Japanese ability. And I'm like, please don't. Because honestly, for as, like, awful as the situation is, I would rather not create more animosity towards myself. If that makes sense. Like, it might not be the healthy action to do, but it's like, if they perceive me as rocking the boat, is it going to make them like me more? Or is it going to create more negative feeling towards me? You know, like, if they're perceiving this as coming from me, do you think it's going to make my situation better or worse? And he's like, well, you know, it might make it better. I was like, no, don't do it. I'm like, if they express that they're fine and happy, I don't care about Mr. Racist fuck. Like, if he's not happy, who cares? He's never going to be happy. Like, I think the only way he would be happy is if I was a Japanese person. But if the vice principals at the school are happy, that's fine. You know, we can just disregard this guy's opinion and move past him. And, like, you know, but I don't want it to become worse. I don't want you to make this whole situation, like, worse than it already is. Like, and he's like, oh, sure. Well, I now have, after I'm done talking to him, I now have 20 minutes to try and track down the teacher for the 2nd grade that I have to teach with tomorrow. Can't find her anywhere. So I just photocopied the lesson thing and left it on her desk. And hopefully she'll ascertain that this is what we're doing tomorrow in 2nd period. Have fun. And then I have class with a lovely lady herself tomorrow for 3rd and 4th. So that's going to be fun. And then, here's the fun one. At the start of the year, when I went to the school, they're like, okay, yeah, we have a teacher. She teaches classes over at the local hospital, and you might need to go do English classes with her there. And it keeps turning up on my schedule. Class at the hospital, class at the hospital. But every time, it's been canceled. It gets canceled, it gets canceled, it gets canceled. And I was like, okay, I'm down with this. Wow. She tracked me down and it's like, tomorrow we have English class. Let's do a Halloween lesson. We have a kid in grade 1, a kid in grade 5, and we're going to do these Halloween words, maybe play bingo. And then if we have time left over, let's play Uno. And I'm like, great, okay, yeah, that sounds lovely. It's like, why couldn't you have canceled it? I don't feel like doing this right now. Because, like, I'm sitting here going, like, do I even want to go to work tomorrow? Why couldn't this have happened on, like, freaking Wednesday? And then they would have a week to be like, gosh, what went wrong on Wednesday? You know? But no, guys. No, it had to happen on Tuesday. And now I have to go back there and pretend like everything is freaking fine. I'm like, yeah. Anyway, 4:30 hits around. And I get up and I'm grabbing my bag and I leave. But as I'm, like, in the staff room, I can hear the Kyoto sensei, the vice principal, he's come out of the meeting with my supervisor. And he's kind of, like, reprimanding the grade 6 teachers. And I hear my name involved. And I'm like, do I even know what's happening? The grade 6s at this school are so freaking terrible. And I'm really sorry I'm having such a bad potty mouth right now, guys. But, like, I'm distraught. BPB. Let me swear. Makes me feel better. But, I'm like, oh god. I just want to get out of here. Like, these students' terrible behavior has nothing to do with me. But, like, the fact that, like, my supervisor was like, whoa, you know, the grade 6 class was really terrible. They wouldn't listen to Susan or the evil lady. Like, and I guess the vice principal was kind of like, oh dear, gotta do something about that. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm going home. I'm going home because I don't want to be here. I don't want to deal with it. But as I'm leaving, I got my bags, I go out, and as I'm going towards the parking lot, I saw the groundskeeper, and I went over and I just told him, like, I couldn't talk to you earlier, but thank you for asking if I was okay. Like, even if I couldn't express to him at the time, like, what was wrong or anything, like, I can't just sit there in the staff room and be like, oh, well, I think the school hates me. And I feel scrutinized like I live in a petri dish. Like, you know, I can't just say that. So I was like, but, you know, thank you for asking if I was okay. It meant a lot to me. Like, I made sure to tell him that I appreciated his kindness. Because, you know, like, it means a lot, right? To, like, know that someone cared to actually enough to, like, ask, like, how are you? What's wrong? Is everything okay? You know, like, I was like, it meant a lot to me that you asked. And he's like, no, of course I would ask. He's like, I don't know why no one else asked. And I was like, I don't know either. And then the groundskeeper, who's there every single day, he's like, this school has a really bad atmosphere. They're not very nice. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, like, dear Lord, like, the school. Like, this guy who works there every single day, he's like, yeah, they're not very nice here. It's like, oh dear. And then I kind of told him, like, what had been happening. About how the school's been complaining about me since April, and how, like, you know, I've done everything. And then I told them that, you know, they came, and I said to him, I'm like, yeah, and they told my supervisor today that I'm not going outside and playing with the kids. Well, the groundskeeper sees me outside every single day that I'm there, playing with the kids. Playing, well, interacting with them. You know, we use the word playing very loosely. But you know what I mean? Like, it's like, no, you're outside every single day. And the morning break and after lunch. And I was like, yeah. Like, and he's like, what the heck? like he's honestly probably one of the best people at that entire school. And he's just super wonderful and kind, and I'm happy for him to have been there, you know? But yeah, even he sees that the school's like not very good, and that they don't like try to encourage or praise people when they do something well, you know, like they don't acknowledge people's good work kind of thing. And instead they just like critique and harsh and stuff. And he's like, yeah, no, it's really, really bad atmosphere here. And I was like, damn. I'm only here occasionally. He's there every single day. And he's like, they don't even really say anything about all the things I do for them. And I was like, ooh, that's harsh. Like, because he does so much. Like, the school has like an army of unicycles, and he sits and repairs them all. He sits and he rakes the leaves. He fixes things around the school and makes sure everything's working properly. And he deals with making sure all the garbage gets put out and like all these things. And do they ever think to thank him? No. But yeah, so apparently this school is just like completely messed up. But I really wish I didn't have to go tomorrow. I'm gonna go, but not for the adults. I'm gonna go because, honestly, because I think the school kids that are at the hospital, they deserve to have someone come and play some games with them for like an hour or two and maybe make their day a little bit better. And that'll be why I go. Not because of the teachers, not because of anything they do. It's gonna be because I think the kids at the hospital deserve to have this little pick-me-up in their life. Also, how you doing, Kitsune Chaos? You're good. How you doing? But that was my day, guys. So then, after driving home, holding myself together while I was driving home was a whole thing, guys, because, you know, you can't drive while you're crying. That's not very safe. Don't do it. I get home and I'm messaging my friend about my terrible day. And once again, sitting in the bathroom crying. Because I wasn't ready to deal with the cats yet. So I was, like, in the bathroom, like, messaging my friend, like, ah. I'm like, crying in the bathroom is kind of the theme today. Like, I don't know, guys. But, yeah. Oh, and then TMI moment for you guys. As if my day wasn't bad enough, my body's like, hey, here's Mother Nature's gift. Have fun with that. It's like, frick you, body. Like, what the frick? I don't need this right now. And so I decided that, you know, food, real food, who cares? I don't want it. We're eating pumpkin pie. And that's gonna be our life right now. I'm eating pumpkin pie. And then I was like, oh wait, you know what? I have turkey stuffing potato chips. Turkey stuffing potato chips. So I had my turkey and my stuffing. And now I'm having the pumpkin pie. So it's like a little Thanksgiving, all for me. I'm thankful for my own hard work, guys. I don't know what's going on anymore. But yeah, so that was my day. That was my day. Pity party for one here. I even told the groundskeeper, I'm like, I'm gonna go home and eat ice cream. I'm gonna eat my feelings. He was like, I don't know if they have that phrase. And I was like I said to him in Japanese, like, kimochi o taberu tsumori. Like, I think I'm gonna go eat my feelings. And I don't know if he understood the connotations. Like, I'm gonna eat to make myself feel happy now. Like, excuse me. But yeah, hopefully I'll be sorted enough tomorrow that, like, I can go and, like, make it through the day in one piece, you know? I wish I didn't have to go to that school again this week, though, because that would have been better, I think. The fact that I have to go tomorrow on the tail end of all this is kind of no bueno. But... And tomorrow, by the way, tomorrow, they're having curry and rice, which is one of the best school lunch menus. So that'll be nice, but seriously, I don't know what's wrong with this school, guys, but and then you know the other fun thing? My supervisor, who, you need to keep this in mind, okay? At the start of the year, I told him what the evil lady had said to me. And for anyone who didn't hear this story, let me recap. On my second day at that school ever, the lady that I work with the most, they call it a senka, which is like a specialty teacher. So she comes and she teaches the English class because the other teachers don't know how to speak English. But on my second day working with her, we sit down in the staff room and she looks at me and she says, so I have to fill in a form telling them if I want the ALT at the school or not. And she kind of looked at me and she goes, you want me to want you here, don't you? And I know it's a contract year for your company. I've been around for a while. And you want your company to get the contract, don't you? And this was our second day working together, and she decides to threaten me. Well, I told my supervisor about this at the start of the year, and his response to me at that point was, sometimes we have to work with people we don't like. I don't think you understood the words that came out of my mouth, sir. Anyway, so he gets there today, and he's all like, so how's your relationship with her? And I was like, do you remember when I told you what she said to me on the second day? What kind of relationship do you think I can have with a person who introduces themselves this way? And he's like, oh, yeah. Probably not good. I remember you said that. Right. Right. And he's like, it's really weird that she would choose to lead with that. And I was like, right. But you know, my current goal since then has been to deceive. I'm like, you know, whether I like her legitimately or not, so long as she thinks I like her, that's all that matters, right? So I've been being a little actress and, you know, trying to make her think I like her. But yeah, it was really funny when he was all like, so what's your relationship like with her? And I was like, cordial, polite. that's my day, guys. That's my day. You know, when you stand in class and you pretend you have the Infinity Gauntlet and you're just like... There'd be so many less people in the world. Let me tell you that right now, guys. There'd be so many less people in the world. I can think of a few. But yeah. That was kind of where my day was. I just put us back on the game overlay, and I just realized I might want more coffee. But at the same point, if I leave the pumpkin pie unattended, can't leave the pie unattended. I have to eat. Someone who knows more needs to explain to Gray better, because I don't know enough. Maybe Alice knows more about pumpkin pie. But yeah, I only ever buy canned pie filling, but I don't know about it. Try to bring the pie to the kitchen, or just eat it. Here's what you need to know. It's delicious. No. I think we were asking about what the pumpkin pie filling is. Pumpkin pie is an interesting beast. It's not like super sweet, but it's not like salty or anything. Pumpkin puree mixed with some spices, sugar, and cream. Interesting. I got as far as the pumpkin puree. It's a lot of work making the filling, I think. It's so much easier just to buy it. Because all the work is done. So you just buy the can, pop it in, and off you go. Just mix it all together. I guess if you have the right, like, KitchenAid. Yeah, pumpkin pie is really good. But again, I didn't like it when I was a kid. Yeah, it's sweet and spiced. And like pumpkin pie, like the spices, it's usually like what, like... I want to say like, I don't think there's cinnamon, but... Nutmeg, cinnamon, that kind of thing, yeah. But it's very interesting. And then usually, I feel like I'm sad. I should have stopped and bought some cream, or like whipped cream kind of like thing to put with it. Or like powdered sugar. But I didn't think to do that. I was just like, I just want to go home. I just want to go home, guys. I was like, The sad thing is, even when I got to my apartment, I was like, I just want to go home. I'm in my kitchen going, I just want to go home. You do not like the whipped cream? Oh, what would you have with it? Nothing. Naked pie, like what I'm having. I think when I was a kid, even now, my favorite pie is my mom's apple pie. My mom makes a real mean apple pie, and it's pretty damn good. And I have her recipe, and I might make a fierce apple pie myself, but mom's is best. She has a better understanding of the apples. I don't know if that makes sense, but like different apples are like, some are sweeter and some are more like tart, and it changes like the amount of sugar or whatever you might want to put in. But my mom, she's just kind of like, oh, that apple? No, that's not a good apple for a pie. Like, she knows, guys. But, yeah. I usually just ask her, I'm like, I take a picture of the apples at the store, and I'm like, which apples? She's like, you want the yellow ones, or what? You want those ones? I'm like, excellent. And then my second favorite pie is lemon meringue. I love a lemon meringue pie. I refuse to make it myself just because meringue is a pain in the butt. I hate making meringue. So, yeah. But I love lemon meringue. And then as I got older, I was like, suddenly just one day, I was like, ooh, pumpkin pie. Like, I never used to like it. But now I'm like, pumpkin pie. And now I have a giant Costco pumpkin pie in my fridge that I get to eat all by myself, and I have to eat it quickly, or else it'll start getting moldy because they don't use enough like preservatives and things in Japan. So I need to eat it fast. So I'm gonna be eating pumpkin pie daily. Hopefully not just pumpkin pie. I did buy gnocchi as well when it was at the store, and my plan originally had been to have gnocchi for dinner and then some pie for dessert. I don't know. My freezer's full. There's no space. So we just gotta eat it. Yeah, so today I got home though and I was like, I don't feel like having gnocchi anymore, but pie is good. Pie makes things better. So I'm having some pie. I'm having some pie. Oh. I had like a great aunt, and she made a really good like strawberry and rhubarb pie. Rhubarb is an interesting one, like I don't know. It's a vegetable technically, but it's kind of sweet. But it was really good. Okay, you all have to pretend you're like a 2-year-old's parent and they're showing you their ugly artwork and you have to be like, wow, it's gorgeous. I went on like a school trip with the staff at one of my former schools many years ago, and they went to this like it used to be a factory where they made bricks, but then when Japan kind of like moved away from using bricks, the company very wisely realized, well, we have all these brick making buildings, what can we use them for? And they realized that ceramics weren't far off from bricks, and they could kind of repurpose a lot of the stuff to make ceramics. So we went to this big ceramic factory, and they had like their little museum section and their thing. But then at one part of the building, like when I was looking at like what you could do there and what they had, I noticed that they had one thing where you could go and paint your own ceramics. So all the other teachers are kind of like wandering the museum or whatever, and I made a beeline to the place where you could go paint your own ceramics. Because I was like, that'd be the souvenir, let me tell you, like that'd be the thing to do while we're here for the hour or whatever that we're here. So I made a beeline for this thing, and I decided on a simple plate, and I painted it. And here's my I'm a bad artist, not very good at painting ceramics, but I painted the plate. I did this. What do we think, guys? I'm purposely trying to cover the name of the school that I did, but and it was a rush job too. Like I think I ended up with only like half an hour to do it. So I had to put down the paint. It had like a stencil on it. Then you kind of like you painted in the lines kind of thing, and then when they bake it, the stencil went away. I don't understand. But it was really hard figuring out like how the paints work. And when you put them on the plate, when you're painting it, they're not the color that they bake out as. I don't know if that makes sense. So it's like the blue paint was not blue in the jar. It's like something about when they put it in the kiln, the colors change. It's weird. But they had like a little template where it showed you like, this is what this one will look like after. And so I very carefully went through and looked at it and painted this. But like trying to get the colors to be like thicker or darker, it was very intriguing, but I didn't have a lot of time. But it was really funny because as I was almost finished, a bunch of the teachers from the school that I was with, they found me and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing? You can paint? You can make your own?" And I was like, "Yeah." And one of the other teachers was like, "I want to do it. I want to do it." And I was like, "You have 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes. Good luck. You have 10 minutes. No one else bothered to look and see that they had that at this place. I was the only one in the whole group that realized you could go and paint your own damn plate or whatever. Like you could choose. They had plates, they had cups, they had little like nicky-nacky things. And it was like, I want that one. I picked a plate. It had the flower design kind of like stenciled on it. And so I just had to kind of like go within the lines. And it was a little bit of a rush job. I wish I had more time to have been like more careful and slow and methodical with it. And then after you finished it, it was like they gave you like a form and you filled in your address. And it was funny because they looked at me and they're like, "We don't ship outside Japan." Of course, you know, because why would a foreigner live in your country? But I was like, "It's fine. I don't live. I live in Japan." And they're like, "Oh, good." I was like, "Yeah, right." So I filled in my address. And they're like, "Okay, well, after we finish it, we'll ship it out to you." And so they take the plate from you after you finish painting it, and they collect your details, and then they, I don't know what you even call it, like when you put a plate or something in a kiln to like fire it. Is that the verb? Is that the verb we use? Fire things? Or do you only fire it when you're trying to make it into the ceramic and not just do the paint? I don't know. But so they cooked it so that the colors would be nice, and then they did the glazing as well so that it's like got the sheen and the gloss. And they shipped it, and I have plate. But yeah, so that's my little like souvenir. And so as I was making it, it wasn't part of the design, but I painted the name of the school and then the year on it so that I would remember where I did it. But it was just so funny that at least the other teachers were like, "Wait, what? Why are you here? What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, you can choose, you can pay some money and choose one of the things they got over there, and then you can paint it and they'll send it to you." And they were like, Ah! And I was like, there's a sign right here in Japanese. That was a good memory. That was a good memory, guys. Copernicus has found probably a spider in the corner. I'm too tired to go and deal with that. You can have it. You can eat it. I don't care. But yeah, that was a fun one. But so that's my plate that I made. Well, I didn't make the plate. I just painted it. But I think it turned out not too shabby. I think if I'd had more time though, I might have been able to try and like get more like gradients and details and stuff. But for the amount of time that I had and not really understanding like how to do it properly, like I think it turned out not too shabby. But yeah. Good little like souvenir. So if you ever come to Japan and you're in Nagoya and you go to a place, I think it's called Noritake. They make a lot of really nice porcelain and stuff. You can, well, actually you can't because you don't live in Japan. Shucks. I was gonna say you can have a real great souvenir that you did yourself. Except you can't. Sorry. You have to live here. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna make myself another latte, because, gosh darn, 2 Sakura latte in one day, but I think I earned it. I think I deserve it, you know? I think I deserve it. Hard day, like what I've had, definitely deserves a second Sakura latte. Maybe a side of ibuprofen. Just send it to Susan, and Suze can send it to us. There you go. Well, let me quickly go grab another Sakura latte, and I'm gonna grab some ibuprofen because it's yummy. No, guys, it's not. Don't listen to me. Rate yourself. See, the thing though with the Sakura latte, guys, is I had bought enough boxes so that I could have one latte every Sunday kind of thing. Like one a week. I could have one a week for the whole year. Except when the weather got really hot, I stopped having them entirely. So I now have a surplus. Do you guys want to see the sadness of this? Give me a sec. Look at this. This is all. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's 4 latte mixes per box. Sakura strawberry latte from Starbucks, and I think it's with, is this Nestle? Premium mix. It's in partnership with someone. They don't make it themselves. I think it's Nestle. But it's really good. But they're really yummy. Uh, and I love them. And so they only sell these in like February, March-ish. And so in the start of the year, I went and bought a lot. And as I said, I bought enough so that I could have one per week for the entire year. But I haven't had one. Like, I didn't have any in August, September. Pretty sure June, July didn't have any either. So I skipped like 4 months. Also, hey Coil, how you doing? How you doing, Coil? But yeah. And I still have a box that's open in the kitchen, so technically I'm still on box 14. We're not ready to start these boxes yet. And there might be more boxes on the shelf somewhere in the kitchen that I managed to like actually put away before I ran out of space. That's why these ones didn't get put away, guys. I don't have a lot of like pantry space. And so these ones have just lived in their little like bag. Their bag. Because I have nowhere for them to store them. But they're so good. And like the thing with like Japan is they'll bring something out for like a seasonal flavor and then it goes away and it may or may not come back. And if it does come back, it won't be until that season comes around next year again. And so if you really like a thing, you better get it. Because if you don't, you screwed. My friend, I also gave her last year at Christmas, I gave my friend a box of the sakura lattes. And let me tell you, she hates me. She hates me right now because she loves it. They don't sell it in Canada. So she's stuck trying to get it from resellers. Whereas, so like, for me, it's like, it's about $4 for a box. She's paying like $14 per box. I'm sorry, friend. I'm sorry. I told her, I'm like, just visit Japan in the right season. I'll like call you up and be like, they're in the store. Just hop on a plane. You just have to get on a plane at the right time. You too can have all the lovely things. And then because I'm such a great friend, she also loves the milk tea ones. And I was at Costco yesterday and I saw the great big box of the milk tea and it's got like 60 sticks in it, 60 like sachets of the tea mix. And it's like 1,400 yen or something. She's buying a little pack of like 10 sticks for that price. And then my girl, you just in the wrong country. Easy as that. Don't yell at me. Don't huff. I've had a hard day, baby. You're so good earlier and give me a nice snuggle when I was crying. But don't scream at me. Right, let me make tea, guys. I'll be right back. Also, hey, Coy, I did see your message. How you doing? Hope you're having a good day. I'm just gonna make a tea. I'll be right back. Be right back, guys. Am I gonna send you some? I mean, maybe. Okay, good. You working today? Are you off? I'm gonna go make a tea, though. I'll be right back and I'll read your message when I get back, guys. Do, 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 do. pretty sure today's just not my day, guys. Went to make my sakura latte. The cup is like half full and the thing runs out of hot water. Let me catch up on this. Okay, good. Hi, Coil. How you doing? It's okay. I just filled it with like hot tap water the rest of the way because that was all I could do. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Coil, if you have a Costco near you, I don't know if they'll have it, but if they have hard bite potato chips, they're like a Canadian brand, but right now in Japan, I don't know if they have them international. Why wouldn't they? They have these potato chips called Keep On Stuffin', and they're turkey stuffing flavored potato chips.